The 7 reasons why I believe, at least for me and perhaps for you, getting outdoors is extremely important.
Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Transplant Helper again today. My name is Jim Merle. As you probably already knew, I am outdoors today. I'm outside. I'm in my favorite place in the world, which happens to be my backyard. Because it's in my backyard, I can meet with so many things that really help me, not only in my mood, but really just help me to get through the day. Okay, I've got a lot of beautiful things around me. You can probably already hear the birds back here in the trees chirping. You might see some squirrels going by. A rabbit might run across in the background. My dog will probably get in the shot eventually. And then over here, there's cattle. There's just all sorts of things. There are horses in the next field. I'm surrounded by great things. The creek is right across the road here. We may walk over there a little bit later, and I'll show you a little bit of it. But as we're kind of getting ready for that, I wanted to share with you these 7 reasons why I believe, at least for me and perhaps for you, getting outdoors is extremely important. Now, as a disclaimer, before we go any farther than that, let me let you know, if you're an immune suppressed post-transplant patient, you need to be wearing some form of sunscreen and or covering up if you're going to go outdoors, particularly in the spring, summertime, or for that matter, the worst sunburner I've ever got in my life came in early fall when it was like 70 degrees outside and I just stayed out too long. But nonetheless, put on some sort of sunscreen, put it on your face, wherever. I found a few different types that are designed for everyday use. They don't have a scent to them and they're safe for the face. And some of those are just lotions and things that have some SPF protectivity. That's a word. Is that really a word? But have some protection or an SPF rating in that. Now, some will recommend you need to be a SPF 50 at least if you're going to be long exposed to the sun. Me, going in and out, on occasion, just going in and out, going from the car to a shopping center, a grocery store, whatever, I wear an SPF 15 on my face every day. I put something heavier on my arms, my shoulders, other exposed skin, or again, might wear a long sleeve shirt, even if it's kind of hot, just to protect me from those sun rays. When I'm going to be out doing any type of yard work, which I can do a little bit of light yard work, at least I enjoy that. I'm going to wear a large hat with a brim. I'm covering the bases, is what I'm saying. But nonetheless, that doesn't stop me from knowing the great benefits of being outside and taking advantage of them. So with that being said, let's jump in. It's number 1. The number 1 benefit for me to being outside comes down to the fact that it provides stress relief. Okay, right over there, not too far, maybe 100 yards from where we are right now, is my home. Inside of my home, there are my children. There, most times, is my wife. There are other people around and running around, and they are 100% my responsibility. But sometimes, for 10, 15 minutes at a time, I just need to get away. I need to, what do you call that? Just kind of deflate. I need to back out, get out of the house, and so I'll get them started doing something, maybe working on some coloring pages or something safe inside, and then I'll just step outside. I'll ask them to stay in. They can come out later, but I'll step outside, and I may just go sit like I am now and just enjoy the sounds of the birds. Airplane going over as well. But I'll just enjoy some of that, and I'll just relax a little bit. And to me, that is a huge benefit. It's just the ability to de-stress, deflate, relax when I'm outside. So with that being said, reason number 2 I like to be outside is that it allows me to get my daily dose of vitamin D. Folks, I don't know if you've seen my videos on vitamin D, or maybe someone else understand the extreme importance of having a good vitamin D level in your system and the benefits of such. But in short, basically, about 80% of Americans are extremely vitamin D deficient, particularly in the wintertime when there's not as much sunshine, which is your best and main source of vitamin D. 80+% of us are extremely deficient in vitamin D, and that causes problems with particularly with sleep. It causes problems with healing. It causes problems with your immune system. It's just related to so many things. Do your own research on that. But getting your vitamin D level up can do a lot to protect you from getting colds, flus, some viruses. It just puts up kind of a wall around you, and it really does a lot of good. It helps me to get to sleep at night. That's something we're going to mention in a moment anyway, but it's just really good to get out and soak up your vitamin D. Now, I do take a supplement in addition to that because I am monitored by my doctors, and they see the deficiencies and recommend a level I need to be at, and we have to take some some supplements to get to that. But also, it is recommended that the average person step outside for about 20 minutes a day. Try to get yourself in direct sunlight for about 20 minutes a day. Again, wear your sunscreen if you need, but get out in the direct sunlight about 20 minutes a day. Protect yourself, but get that vitamin D that you need. In addition to that, this is something I didn't know till a few years ago, kind of doing some research on it. If you're sitting inside of a car with the sun beaming in, doesn't help a lot. Most of those windows are UV, UVA protected. Same thing with your windows on your home. If they're newer windows, they might be those double pane windows with a film in between. That's really blocking out what you need. You may feel and see the sun coming through the window, but it's blocking out what you need. Getting straight out in the sun is the best way to go ahead and deal with that. Now, as I kind of mentioned in the last one, getting better sleep is one of the side benefits of getting out into the sunshine. Not only because it does raise your vitamin D level, which is very important in getting to sleep and getting relaxed at night, but it also helps you sleep because I don't know about you, when I get outside and I get exposed to the sunlight, then later on at night, when I try to get into my wind down routine for sleep, where I'm trying to dim the lights and put away the phone screens and such as that, which is hard to do, I'm addicted sometimes, but when I try to do that and try to wind down, it's much easier to do if I've had that high level of sunlight in the daytime. Then I can pull those shades or turn those blinds and, you know, kind of dim the lights, and I can really begin to see the difference. This is the natural rhythm that our body is supposed to be going through every day as we are preparing for sleep, that we kind of get away from the sun, get away from natural light, and that within itself, particularly the blue lights being dimmed, can go ahead and help us to get better sleep. So by coming outside and getting good light, bright light even, that in turn can have your brain to realize the contrast when it's absent, and you can kind of program yourself over again that it's time to rest, time to go to sleep. So if you're like I am, you have a lot of difficulty getting to sleep, one of the things you can do is make sure you get enough sunshine during the day, so at night your brain just kind of knows what to do with that. And number 4, I would add to that, getting outside for me encourages exercise, okay? When I come outside, I'm seated right now for just a little bit, but when I come outside, I'm a very curious person, and I love to bird watch. I love to see, as I mentioned, the squirrels run across the ground or the rabbits hop by. We live in nature, thankfully, out here in the country, but I love to see the cows come up on the hill. I love to go over and walk down the creek bank. And so once I get outside, it's kind of like my permission I'm giving myself to just explore. And by exploring, I'm going to end up moving around, walking around, and I'm going to get around to actually doing more exercise. And I try to be intentional about that most days. I try to walk around the yard or walk around the property here a couple to 3 times, kind of get in a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles, however I need to do that for the day. But I go ahead and get that, and doing that outside is just so much more enjoyable, so much more fulfilling than, say, being inside walking up and down the hall about 600 times to get a mile, maybe more, or getting on a treadmill. It's just better to be outside. So it does promote exercise and makes it a little bit funner to do, if you will. Reason number 5 for getting outside, it can also, believe it or not, boost your brain health. There's some kind of chemical reaction that happens in the brain when you're outside by you clearing some of that stress, relaxing, winding down, getting those vitamins, kind of the combination of all that we've mentioned already, promoting the better sleep and such. There's something about that that allows your brain to function more clearly. I think really just the fact that you're outdoors, and if you're like me, I try to be careful when I'm outside. I leave my phone on the inside, no electronics out here, and you just kind of get a clear sense of what the world is really about. And again, as you are maybe like I am, if you are being curious and you're looking around and there's the bird flies over and I hear a squirrel in the distance, I'm going to find him in a minute, but you know, that within itself does promote and help boost my brain health. It's just very, very good. It's why even when you find someone who's, say, in an assisted living home or a nursing home or something like that, if they're in a good care facility, if possible, not always possible, hospitals are the same, if possible, they're going to try to get their patients outside, if not seated in a window, outside for a little bit every day. Just let them clear their mind and let their brain get the advantages that it can get simply from being outside. Number 6, I would add to that, being outside fosters creative imagination, okay? And really, for me, being a person who, you know, believes in God and respects God and really loves to see the beauty of all that is around us, I can simply just come sit out here, not even move, and just look around and begin to be amazed. at what wonderful things God has created, and be inspired, not to create a world, I could never do that, but to be inspired to want to do something for myself, to want to do something that I can do, to go out here, not too far from here, over that way. I'll show it to you maybe later, but over that way I've actually got a small building, and inside I've got all my tools for woodworking and cabinet making and building projects and that sort of thing. Hey, once I get outside, it's nothing for me to come outside with the intention of sitting on the swing or laying in the hammock over there, and then I in turn end up getting busy doing something. And so that one in itself can foster creativity, at least it does for me, and that's one of the reasons I love to be outside. And number 7, with no doubt in my mind, it promotes happiness, therefore decreases depression and anxiety just by being outside. You say, well, Jim, that sounds an awful lot like number 1 about the stress. Yes, it does. But I tell you, I've been in a position for so many years, and particularly in and around heart transplant time when I was in and out of the hospital so long and locked down in the hospital for a while, and then I get out and I do well for years, and boom, COVID hits. We go about a year and a half, 2 years of COVID with some restrictions, some lockdowns, which thankfully in the country we didn't have to do a lot of that, but we had to do some. It's easy to get in a rut. It's easy to feel trapped in your own little world and not be able to get out and about, and to get depressed and down and anxious about that. Getting outside for me, it just releases those boundaries. It just allows me to basically see there is almost in human senses, there's almost no end to what we have and what is available to us. So me getting outside might cause me to really change my mood, and sometimes I can feel that. I'm not good at it, but sometimes I can sense that. I'll be inside, I'll kind of get grouchy, I'll get fussy or whiny or whatever. Yes, I'm 47. Am I 48? I may be 48. I don't know. I'm older. But I'll act like a 2-year-old sometimes. I'll just get fussy and gripey and just mad at the world. And then I'll come out here and actually see the world for what it is. And wow, what a door of opportunity it opens. And again, it lifts my spirit. And so sometimes when I have those breather moments, like in number 1, where I say, look, kids, y'all do this, this, and that. Stay busy. I'm going outside for a bit. I want to be by myself. Sometimes that takes like 15, 20 minutes. Get my vitamin D, I go back in, I'm a brand new person. So I do know that on days when I'm having difficulties, I'm kind of down and out or anxious about something, or just my mind is locked into one thing or another, getting outside releases and frees that and really helps me not to be pressed down or anxious. And so those are the 7 benefits for me of being outside. Here's what I would love for you to do if you don't mind. Get in the comments below. Start telling me the things that you do that helps you to want to go outside, and once you get out there, write down some of the benefits, some of the wonderful things that you receive when you're outside. We'll put those together as a community and learn from one another. But until next time, each and every one of you, please stay stronger, my friends.